This Corey Bradshaw, Mr. RTBA, Mr. These Boys Can't Touch Me on my worst day.
And this is JJ Solomon.
And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast. This is the Spit Bucket Podcast. It's your boy, Mr. RTBA, Mr. 214, Senor Dos, Uno Cuarto, Senor Dos. Got to say, Mr. Undeniable, Mr. These Boys Can't Touch Me. On my worst day with my dog, JJ Solomon. What's popping?
What's going on, bro? I'm just excited about episode 16.
And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast, episode 16, man.
You know how to say that in Spanish?
How you say
That's
that?
right. Yes, y seis.
Yes, yes.
From here on out, it's easy, dog. It's yes, y seis, yes, y siete. You got this.
Shout out to everybody on here, man. If y'all on here, we need y'all to like, share. Please go subscribe to the Spit Bucket Podcast on YouTube. If you ain't in the Spit Bucket Podcast group on Facebook, please go on the Spit Bucket Podcast and join the group. We got an exciting week. Before we get into that, man, what the hell of a week we had last week.
Bro, it was awesome, man. It was so awesome. I left my beard product back, so my beard looks a little bit different. Y'all let me know. But, yeah, we spent some time in Indio, California for Kid Austin's fight. That was his first fight on the Golden Boy roster, so that was a big deal for him. And it was exciting, dude, just being out there hanging out with B-Hop and the Golden Boy crew. So excited about what he's got. We'll talk a little bit about him here in a little bit. But, yeah, man, it's good stuff, good stuff.
But before we get this show started, y'all see what's right in front of us. KOCBD.com. Make sure you go to KOCBD.com. Let's give it a for our sponsors, KO Therapeutic.
We all have battles. We fight. We train. We work. We persevere. And we celebrate. We are all one.
I can't do anything if I can't walk in my prosthetic. It's a lot of pain that I feel throughout my day. It can be very intense. Now I just put that balm over it and it will heal up much faster and it will let the callus recover. That's amazing. It is a total game changer. I am hooked. I'm just hooked.
Life is hard. KO makes it better. KOCBD.com.
KOCBD.com. Use the discount code TSB10. Pain relief. You hear CBD all the time helping you sleep and all that stuff. This is specifically for pain. This is what they focus on. Stop pumping all them medicines inside your system and messing up your liver. Just give it a shot. Promise you guys you'll love what you hear or what you feel. Again, KOCBD.com, TSB10. But man, we got a loaded show. We got Jake Paul Silva this week. We got Tank and Ryan Garcia negotiations. We're going to talk a little bit about Kid Austin. But first, got the boxing world buzzing. Turned the boxing world upside down. We've been talking about Spence-Crawford for 5 years now. And here recently it's been elevated. It's been getting heated up. The conversations are getting more and more intense. And then last Thursday, we find out that Crawford has completely backed out of that fight for now. And, you got the camera on it. You were zooming in and out of yourself, brother. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's all good. Yeah, so we find out that Crawford Spence is shelved for now. And we've got Terrence Crawford versus David Avicinian. Avicinian. I have trouble pronouncing that dude's name.
Lord, what a joke.
Like Bob Arum said, I don't know anything about him. I know he got knocked out by Mean Machine. But yeah, the real big news, obviously, Crawford ain't fighting Spence. But the real big news is the platform. BLK Prime. About 10 days ago, nobody knew anything about it. Corey, I know you've been vocal. Let's hear.
Yeah, who is BL? What is it?
BLK Prime.
BLK Prime. Who is that? What is that? Like
a venture company.
It's just like Forrest Gump, when he got shot from out of nowhere. He said, something bit me. It just came from out of nowhere. What is BLK Prime? And this is Terrence Crawford. You got all these big-time promotional companies, and you go to a company that nobody ever knew about. Wow. Amazing. This is Terrence Crawford for you. This was the same guy that was on ESPN. Never did the headline shows. Never did Stephen A. Smith on a consecutive basis. Never did Max Kellerman or just made his round table on there. Never did that. And now to leave Top Rank to go to BLK Prime, I think that is a hideous move. Oh, and it was also reported that he getting $10 million in this fight to go to fight David Avanesian. And if anybody believe that, your stupid is as stupid does.
Yeah, man, I think the part that really pisses me off, obviously I'm pissed. The fight ain't happening. Spence-Crawford ain't happening. Not yet, at least. Everybody keeps saying they're pushing it back, but we know how that story goes. If you want to throw in a tune-up fight, throw it in. But the part that really, really, really gets under my skin is the fact they're charging $39.99 for this fight. We saw what Deontay Wilder just did, one of the biggest names in the sport. It's a heavyweight division. And he couldn't clear 100,000. He couldn't clear 80,000. I would be super surprised to see this fight do more than 15,000 pay-per-views. I really would. And I'm not hating on Crawford, but that's just a terrible look.
How many pay-per-views?
I'm gonna set the over/under at I'll go 20,000. And I don't think it goes past 20,000. I really don't, man. And you say what you want about Bud and him being one of the best fighters in the world and all that stuff, which nobody will deny. We've seen the guy run from media. We've seen the guy ignore the headline, not even address the headlines. We've seen the guy in enemy territory and not even try to promote a fight. We've seen Bob Arum say he's lost tons of money on it. We saw Bob Arum today saying he don't understand how Crawford – that's not how boxing is. Go and try to talk to Al Heyman personally to iron out these details. It's just a bunch of confusion and chaos for the sport. Now, I do have my feelings on it, on the money. I know you just said stupid is as stupid does. Here's the thing, dude. Like, I'm not a Crawford apologetic. I'm pissed. I'm pissed at they snatched the big fight away from us, right? But and correct, we've been talking about this for the past couple of days. I'm making this whole conversation on just like Bob Arum said today, if that number is real. Now, I can be mad at him as a fan, as a media guy, somebody who covers the sport. But if that was me, if that was your son, if that was your brother, $10 million, he's not going to get that for Errol Spence, not the way it was. Can you be super mad at taking a $10 million paycheck? If that number's real.
So you said he wasn't going to get that against Errol Spence?
Not the way the contract was written out.
So how the hell is he going to get that against David Avanesian? Like, because you got to understand, him fighting Errol Spence, that's going to bring in a lot of the big-time media, and a lot of people is going to be roaring about that fight. Him fighting David Avanesian, people seriously believe this? Now, listen, I know you say if, and I respect that, but me using my logical thinking, me using my common sense, there's no way this guy, Terrence Crawford, who is not that popular, who done dominated 3 divisions, and who's still not that popular as he is, going to get $10 million to fight David Avanesian. And whoever is creating that narrative, that false narrative, I think that is terrible for the sport of boxing, because how can he get paid more than he was going to get paid for Errol Spence?
BLK.
That don't make sense, JJ.
So here it is, correct. It's a brand new company. There's a 0% chance, in my 100% opinion, that this fight sells enough pay-per-views to pay out $10 million and to pay, and we'll get to AB here in a little bit as well. That fight's not going to do it, but they're investing. They're investing their money. They likely took out a loan, because where the hell does money come from? Like you said, they're a backyard fighting company, and they're investing their money now in one of the bigger names in the sport. Not popular names, one of the bigger names in the sport, when Terrence Crawford. And I say talents-wise. They're investing, if this number's right, they're putting that $10 million on Bud. They know they've got an AB out there who can sell tickets and promote. I mean, AB started promoting it the moment it was signed. 3 fights, $10 million is what the rumor is. So what I gather from that is, obviously they're not relying on pay-per-view numbers. they're taking a chance. Now, BLK Prime, if it's not too late, run for your life. Because it's a terrible business move.
No. I want to get back to what you said before we go on to the terrible business move. You said they took out a loan.
Well, I'm saying that's what businesses do.
I'm
You
saying
start off
for
alone.
one of the bigger names. He's not one of the bigger names, JJ.
They sold that to the bank who wrote that loan.
No, I don't believe that a bank wrote that loan. Like, I believe they may have got a loan, but it wasn't for that much money. He's not that big of a name. You try to make you said it to perceive to the public like he was a big, huge. He's not. Terrence Crawford is not that. And any bank who's looking at that, they're going to look at Terrence Crawford and everything he did before this situation is happening right now for them to come down to their final decision if they want to do business with this guy. And if we look at Terrence Crawford and everything he did before, how, let's be honest, he failed miserably on pay-per-views, never been a ticket seller. His personality is not great. A bank is not finna look at that guy and Terrence Crawford and say, we're willing to give you $10 million.
Here's the thing, Corey. Most bankers don't know shit about boxing. They don't. So, obviously, BLK Prime knows what they got in Bud Crawford. Not the most social guy, not the most friendly guy, not the most salesman-y guy. So, what I believe, BLK sent in their team and pitched an idea. And they showed, look, this guy's on every pound-for-pound ranking. Everybody wants him. He's undisputed at 140. To your typical banker, because this isn't no billion-dollar deal. This is literally a loan you can go get over at Chase Bank. Like, I worked for a bank a long time. And
you said typical banker, right?
Yeah, what
do you mean when you say
typical
banker?
Corporate banker probably doesn't know a damn thing about boxing and pay-per-view sales. And I feel like a bank is about to lose their ass. BLK Prime is about to lose their ass. Think about DAZN. Had exclusive rights to Canelo and Golden Boy, and they were still hurting. This is with one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name in the sport. So if that number is right, kudos to Bud, kudos to AB. But BLK Prime, if that's what you're paying, like Bob Arum said today, Terrence Crawford should change his name to Jesse James because that's highway robbery. He's robbing from the company, he's robbing from the bank that provided that cash, and he's providing from the pockets of every single one of these fans who support him, including us.
You said typical banker.
Yeah.
Right. Corporate banker.
Corporate bankers.
Who not real big into boxing, right? So you have to understand, being a typical banker, not too big into boxing, that means you're going to do your due diligence. That's what I know about a typical bank. They're not just going to spread this much money if they don't do this due diligence. Who gives a damn about a pound-for-pound list? They're not looking at, this guy's on the pound-for-pound list. They looking at, do the dollars make sense?
It comes down to a human.
Excuse me. They looking at, do the dollars make sense? And when you look at Terrence Crawford, if anybody believe that the dollars make sense, where this typical bank who don't care about boxing, not going to do their due diligence and give this dude $10 million, that's blasphemy. And another thing, you spoke on Adrian Broner, who been promoting. We talk about the guy who had 629 people on his live while he was saying that. JJ, this ain't the same Adrian Broner.
No, I think it's stupid.
From years ago. No, I understand you think it's stupid, but what I'm saying is this ain't the same Adrian Broner, a guy who was electric when he first came out, right? This is not him. This is a guy who ain't won a fight in 4 years. This is a guy who done rubbed a lot of the public the wrong way with a lot of the actions that he have done inside and outside of the ring. So when you mention a Terrence Crawford, then you mention Adrian Broner, that equals up to nothing to me.
Correct, and I know you don't think I'm going to agree with you, but I do agree with that 1,000%. But whether it's a bank, whether if it's a hard money investor who's staying behind the scenes, whoever it is, I've seen, you've seen, we've all seen new companies get money from banks and fail miserably because some banker, some underwriter drank the Kool-Aid. This sounds like a great concept. It comes down to one person. It comes down to one person approving that money, whether it's a bank or if we're talking to an individual or a private sector type loan. It comes down to just saying the right words. And this guy's saying, well, look, it's Terrence Crawford. And he might not know a damn thing, but we see every day banks give money to people who lose it. It happens in a lot of businesses.
No, true. But boxing ain't as big as it once used to be. This is what you got to understand. You're talking about a typical banker. A typical banker gonna look at boxing and see boxing ain't at the echelon that it used to be at. Boxing is weary right now. Do we got good and great fighters? Yeah, who can help carry the sport to keep it going? Absolutely. But boxing ain't at an all-time high as it was a year ago. So not a typical banker. They're not going to be able to get under an underwriter looking at this sport of boxing, which is not that big, right? When they looking at boxing and see you got a YouTuber coming in that's popping more than Terrence Crawford. I'm sorry, it's just hard for me to believe. I understand you're 100% correct. This have happened before, and it's probably still happening to this day. But what I'm saying, a person is going to look at this sport that's not doing that well, look at Terrence Crawford and see that his personality is not that good.
No.
He's never put up any huge numbers. They're going to also look at Adrian Broner and see this guy ain't won a fight in 4 years.
Yeah, here's how I imagine they sold it. Like, think about it, right? If you're in sales or whatever trying to pitch an idea, yeah, guys, Bud isn't a big market. He doesn't have a big market, but he's a super talent. But, yeah, we have this guy who's washed up, and similar to the point you made about Bellator, he still has a name. And, no, you're right, AB is nothing what he was before. But if you're selling the package, we've got this extreme talent, and we've got the guy who's going to sell the product. And somebody, if those numbers are true, got bamboozled. The bamboozle of the year. Might be the bamboozle of the decade, dude.
Do you believe them numbers are true?
I have no reason to not believe it, and I have no reason to believe it. I don't know. Just like Bob Arum said today.
Now, JJ, look, you playing the fences.
How's that playing the fences?
You're playing
you
the
asking
fences.
me if I believe it.
I know, but you ain't giving me no answer. I'm asking, this is a yes or no question, JJ. Like, either you believe that a bank gave Terrence Crawford and Adrian Broner, who nowhere near popular in this sport right now, that money, or you don't believe it. Do you believe it or you don't believe it, JJ?
I believe that it could happen. So, I'm going off of nothing. What my gut feeling tells me. What my gut feeling tells me is that, yeah, those numbers are real. And why my gut feeling tells me that is because boxing's starting to get a buzz again. To your point again, we got Jay Paul fighting this weekend. It doesn't take much to sell somebody. It just comes down to
why is boxing getting a buzz?
No, I'm saying just the YouTubers and all the new names and stuff.
The YouTubers
and
ain't
look,
boxing getting no buzz.
Listen, a banker will give a loan to a weed company. A lot of bankers in that world, especially the older folks, don't want to touch weed. They don't know the ins and outs of the industry. Just like weed, just like everything else, they don't know the ins and outs of boxing. So it's not hard to jump onto social media and say, wow, this guy has 1 million followers. This guy has 1 million followers. This podcast is getting 100,000 views and all that sort of stuff and say, hey, let's take a chance. That's why it's an investment. It's a risk. So do I think I could see a bank being dumb enough to hand out the money. I could see an investor being dumb enough to hand out the money. So if you're forcing me right now to say, do you believe it or not that those numbers are real? Like I said, in my heart, I don't know what the hell to believe anymore with these guys. But if you're forcing it on me, yeah, I'm gonna say I believe. I have to believe. I'll have to believe it only because there's a second fighter involved now. Like
a second fighter.
I'm talking about AB.
What
AB
the hell
field.
do he bring to the table?
No, I didn't say he brings nothing to the table. I'm saying
what do two fighters?
Correct. I'm not talking about accolades. I'm not talking about popularity.
I'm talking fighting on the same card as Terrence Crawford.
I know.
That would have probably
that would made a lot more
bit,
sense.
But he's not even fighting on the same card as him, JJ. He's not fighting on the same card.
I didn't say he's fighting the same card, correct?
No, but you answered the question. You said yes.
If I had to choose,
you do believe it. See,
I can see it happening.
No, okay, and I respect that. That's your opinion. But my opinion is if you using your common sense, right?
And my history, what I've seen happen with my own very eyes. Oh, you need me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you good?
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
All right. Yeah, dog. Like, and I saw you say earlier, like, it's a backyard company and there's a backyard boxing company and all. Bro, you know how UFC started? Mm-hmm. A big fight tournament every night. a tournament. They fight multiple times. Keith Hackney against a sumo wrestler. Hoist Gracie against giant fat guys. They started off as just brawling dumb stuff. And look at the UFC now. So I respect BLK for having high ambitions.
Hold up.
No, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Hold up. JJ.
Yes.
You said backyard brawling?
Backyard boxing, whatever the hell they do.
Now, see, the one thing I got to give PBC credit for, right? When PBC was a company first coming onto the scene, they had real live business names surrounding them, right? They had real live business people surrounding them.
Fact.
Where you could look at PBC and like, okay, especially, you know, when Richard Schaefer did that dirty move to Oscar De La Hoya, came to PBC. Al Heyman, we know his situation with Live Nation, right? And a lot of other, Sam Watson, the Watson.
All of them, yeah.
They played a big part. JJ, we have seen Adrian Broner. Listen to me. That's the only person who we've seen represent BLK Prime. Adrian Broner. We ain't seen nobody. Terrence Crawford, I know I'm not tripping. I don't even think he put up
hasn't.
a post.
That's the problem. That's why we're here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think he even put up a post about it, JJ. And the person you got coming out saying, if you don't want the managers all in your hood, all in your hold up. Adrian Broner, you was just praising that manager when you said F Jay-Z to that 5-year, $40 million contract. But you see what I'm saying?
I see that, bro.
So that's what I'm saying. When you think it's realistic that this company got $10 million.
Possible.
No, you say yes, you will agree with that. I'm going to say this. The only person you got speaking for you is Adrian Broner.
For me?
No,
for BLK, yeah.
Prime,
no, 100%,
it's
dog.
Adrian Broner. We ain't seen Terrence Crawford put up a post, JJ, and that's all I'm saying. See, this is no hate. This is real life.
Say it
facts.
again for the people in the back.
No, this is no hate. Excuse me. This is real life facts. When you got Terrence Crawford, one of the best fighters in the world, right? Because he is one of the best fighters in the world. He may not be as popular, but he's one of the best fighters in the world who has a good name. When you got him not even helping you push into your product, what is BLK Prime showing us when the only person we've seen out there representing them is Adrian, the problem Broner?
It's they're setting themselves up for massive failure, bro. Like, and in their eyes, they're probably saying, "Oh, look, this is exactly what we pictured." Bud Crawford not going to say nothing. He's the talent. Broner's the mouth. This is going to grow it. Now, I saw it when I first heard this, dog. I don't know if you're keeping up with golf and what's going on in the golf world, where everybody's leaving the PGA because there's this new tour called the Live Tour, whatever the hell it's called, and they are pouring tons of money that they haven't generated yet into the top golfers in the world. The only thing holding PGA alive right now is Tiger Woods. Everybody has left. Everybody's left. And at first, everybody's saying, why are you pouring all your money into this? You can't go against the massive PGA. It's not going to happen. Everybody's leaving because they're putting out this money, that investing. But to your point you just made, these are business guys.
Hold up. Exactly.
Yeah, business guys.
Exactly, JJ. It's known business guys from where they from? They from
I think they're Saudi Arabia.
Saudi
Arabia.
JJ, where the money pours. It's a difference. They brought theoretics and logics around to they brought theoretics and logic around to show exactly where the money is coming from, and it's real.
No doubt about
People
that.
think I'm hating on Terrence Crawford. People say, oh, Mr. LTBA, you don't like Terrence Crawford. I like Terrence Crawford. And when I tell people this, they say it's blasphemy. Well, society, if you don't think I like Terrence Crawford, that's your fault. I think he's an extraordinary fighter. But just when I let the truth come to the power, and the power come to the truth about Terrence Crawford, even though it may be harsh, even though it may be like a big old pill and hard to swallow, I'm sorry. I just got to let you guys know the truth. This guy ain't made one freaking post about BLK Prime, and y'all want me. Hold up, me to believe this dude is going to get $10 million against David Alvanesian? Stop playing with me.
Listen, bro, Jason Redemar just posted that BLK Prime, and I should have done my research, is founded by Silicon Valley Investment Group. So that's where the money's come from. That's where the money's coming from. Now, I will look in the camera, and I will say, like, I want you to understand my stance. I'm pissed at Bud. I'm pissed at Bud for dragging. You know what I would have done with this? You know what I think the right move should have been? Mm-hmm. He should have got this offer from BLK if this number's true. And what he should have done is use that to leverage it to Heyman and say, look, guys, I'm about to get this type of money with somebody else. Let's talk business now because I don't want to waste time with this David dude. But instead, he's taking this fight with 6th, 7th rank. I don't even know how the hell he's ranked 6 because, I mean, he's probably not ranked 6. I can name. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying on the rankings. But he should have leveraged that. Instead, he's fighting this guy. He's holding up the super fight, and he's charging us to see a tune-up fight. He's charging us to see a tune-up fight, which is so. Again, I was listing stuff. I'm pissed at Bud. I'm pissed at the boxing industry. Hell, I'm pissed at Al Heyman too. And we'll talk if you want to talk about that. But I'm pissed at Heyman. I think it's ludicrous that they're charging $39.99. And listen, BLK Prime, I wish y'all the best because any growth of the sport, I'm all for. I hated DAZN when it came out because it was changing everything, and they seem to be growing and growing. I'm wishing you the best, BLK Prime, but I'm going to go out and say it right now. If y'all are getting this money and if it's borrowed money, this is a recipe for disaster. There's a reason they're not getting paid money from the big dogs like the Top Ranks and the Golden Boy. There's a reason AB can't find a job. There's a reason nobody wants to pay Bud. So BLK, I'm wishing y'all the best, but I think y'all.
Why nobody in the camera on you? Why nobody? Because I want you to answer this question. Why nobody ain't came out and said nothing?
About what?
Because when big news break like this, you have a press conference of somebody in the forefront. Why nobody ain't came out and said nothing, Jay?
Yeah, they had a streaming YouTube thing.
That was Adrian Broner.
Yeah, I posted him up with a wrinkled ass screen in the background. And it just looks terrible. I know this is just, you can't judge a book by its covers, but I mean, does this look like a company that's dishing out $10, $20 million?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Oh, he got phones around him. Like, where all the media at? Like, if this a big company, you say Silicon Valley, why Silicon Valley ain't came out and made a statement yet? Because when there's something go on like this that's momentous, you know what I'm saying?
Are we still streaming?
Yeah. Huh? It look like we. Yeah. Why you say that?
Oh yeah, it stopped on over here. My bad.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that.
When something big like this go on, JJ, you're gonna have a press conference on it. You're gonna have big time people come out and announce themselves quickly to the boxing public and tell us who they are. We have seen nothing. Can you put that picture back up for me, sir?
There it is, right? Oh, not that one. Oh, let me read that tweet. Might as well. Broner, this is the Broner thing. Adrian Broner announced he signed with BLK Prime, the company staging Spence-Crawford for David Alvanesian on December 10th. Broner said, I think with myself, my About Billions brand and BLK Prime, we're going to take over boxing. He's got gray hairs all in his beard. Yeah, I got the picture up.
What about Billion? There's About Billion what?
I don't know. Tries to come back in boxing. A billion attempts to come back.
I'm talking about. He said him and with his About Billion.
His About Billions company. I didn't know it was a company.
Do we think he Floyd like Adrian Broner?
Yes.
Like I'm talking about. Do we think he Floyd right now? Like seriously, JJ. Seriously, everybody from the 214 to across the pond. Seriously, the only person we seen come out and talk about this is Adrian Broner, and for anybody to believe this, we ain't seen no executives, nobody come out because this is such a huge announcement. Hold up, JJ. This is such a huge announcement. We seen nothing. And you still believe this?
I think it's possible, bro.
No, JJ.
Especially after reading that they're an investment group.
JJ,
like that money's just coming from their own pockets.
Okay, but you do understand.
It's a stupid move.
No, not stupid move. If something big like this going on, you're going to have executives. You're going to see the person who leading the field.
It's terrible marketing, dog. Like they should have a press conference. They should. It's terrible marketing.
But you believe it still? Just
Correct.
because of a so-called report?
Do you think there's millions, hundreds of businesses that exist with terrible strategies, with terrible investments, and they exist. They spend money on stupid stuff. Hell, we just saw the Denver Broncos spend 40-something million a month or a year on Russell Wilson. Like people make stupid.
Oh, JJ, stop
No,
that.
I'm just saying.
We didn't know that before this year that Russell Wilson was gone.
No, I'm saying, but you
Drop
take
like
that's
that.
why it's an investment.
Yeah, but he's been having a hamstring injury anyway. That's
But no, investments blow up in your face. There's companies who do terrible marketing.
But Russell Wilson is a proven guy.
Yeah, but he's not worth what he's getting paid.
No, don't say that. He's a proven guy.
Absolutely. I was excited. I drafted him for my fantasy
Is
league,
Spence-Crawford a proven?
Not with numbers.
With numbers?
Absolutely not.
So JJ, that still makes sense to you?
Correct. The business side of it makes no sense to me.
No, I'm saying.
Do I think they're getting
That
paid?
he getting $10 million.
Yes, bro.
When he ain't,
Same thing with Bellator. Bellator paying, they're
I
paid.
know, but you just X'd off everything that's going against.
That's exactly why I say it's a terrible business move. Look, BLK. We've seen PBC allegedly struggle with money. You're lined up with Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather, one of the wealthiest men in sports, and they've struggled with money. DAZN had Canelo, Golden Boy, everybody working with him. Matt, they're struggling with money with those giant marketable names. So BLK, I love the ambition. I love that you guys are reaching for the stars. Because, hell, that's what me and Corey do. We're reaching for the stars. We're trying to change the game up. We're trying to work with different people. And we don't want them to look at us and say, oh, that's just some little ass company. That's just
we out there more than BLK.
bro, I don't know. You're right. But I'm saying I don't want somebody to ever look at us and say they're too new or they ain't done this yet or whatever. Yeah, it's all about getting that chance and running with it. So BLK, I appreciate the ambition, but this, like you just said, it X'd out everything. Marketability, future of the fighters. Bud's old AB looked like Santa Claus on his picture. It's a terrible move, and with that, I agree with you. If that's true, it's a terrible move for BLK. The only one that benefits is AB and Crawford.
But I don't like AB, who ain't won the fight in 4 years, JJ. You think BLK finna give him like he bringing nothing?
I don't know, dog.
Because he's gonna dance. That's gonna be the best.
And talk
show,
shit.
Him dancing to the ring. That's gonna be the best thing he do. Because JJ, we're gonna be lucky if he throw one punch. Boy, we're going to have a party if he throw 2 punches.
You're right, dog.
Well, we're going to Disneyland if he throw a combination.
Yeah, man. And I know, man, I'm upset at the whole situation. I think BLK is going to be a disaster. It already started off with a disaster. No marketing whatsoever. No press conference. You're signing up one of the most toxic names in the sport in Adrian Broner. No disrespect, but it's just true, like one of the most unstable names in the sport, and Adrian Broner. You're relying on him to do y'all's marketing. We've seen even AB fans aren't AB fans anymore. Listen, Omaha, Nebraska, Team Crawford, all you guys, it's time to put up or shut up. If this is true, and maybe Bud's using this for leverage or whatever, it's time for Omaha to stand up. It's time for all of hashtag Team Crawford to go and buy these pay-per-views to give Bud finally something to present to say, this is why I'm worth it. This is why you give me the transparency.
I mean, yeah, but JJ.
I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying, Craig.
No. I'm saying, yeah, that's true. But have they, yeah, that's true. Everything you said. It's time for Omaha to stand up.
And shut us all up.
JJ, Terrence Crawford, 35 years old. Omaha poster stood up 13 years ago because he been the only thing popping like Orville Redenville popcorn in Omaha for the last 13 years. They should have been done stood up. Now all of a sudden, JJ.
Yeah, they have to.
No, I'm talking about
this
all
is their last strike.
All of a sudden, Omaha gonna stand up now.
If they're talking all that lip for years, talking all that lip, and Bud deserves 50-50, and this and that and that and this, and just. And again, listen, I'm targeting Team Crawford right now. I've had my frustration with Team Spence and all that as well. I try my damnness to call it in the middle. But we know Spence was the A side. We know there's a lot of Bud fans that had a problem with that. It's time for you guys to dig in your pocket. It's two $20 bills. That's two $20 bills. You can. It's fast food now.
To watch Crawford So what's the odds on that? Can you, JJ, let me ask you, can you look
The
up
Vegas
the odds?
odds?
On that
Yeah, let's
fight,
look
please?
it up. Yeah.
Look up the odds on that fight.
It's going to
because
be ridiculous.
You telling a lot of people with our economy the way it is, I ain't going to say the reason why it's the way it is, but with our economy the way it is, JJ, you telling people to take their hard-earned money. Like two $20 bills is a lot for Terrence Crawford versus David Avenesian. That's a lot. JJ, what's the odds on that fight? Because, JJ.
I'm looking for it.
How much of a chance from 1 to 100?
I'll have the numbers later. It's got to be.
I'm talking about from 1 to 100. I'm asking you, what do you think the percentage-wise chance David Avenesian got from 1% to 100?
From what? Are we starting at 0 or 1?
Yeah, from 0.
0. If we're starting at 1, it'd be 1.
Exactly. 0.
Now, of course, out of respect for all the fighters, and this is kind of what we're supposed to say. Everybody's got a chance in there, but let's be real. One of the best boxers in the world against somebody who was shelved recently. Again, what do you think about what I just said about Crawford should have used that offer and leveraged it for the fight we want? Like, that makes sense. Like, if you have an agent or a manager, I know we don't have a promoter,
but look, JJ, you talking about the guy he fighting. Like, the reason why, look, I'm going to give it a negative 100.
Yeah.
Negative 100 because the guy he fighting got stopped by the guy he got knocked out in Kavaliauskas. JJ, he got stopped by the guy Terrence Crawford knocked out in Kavaliauskas, JJ. This dude don't have a chance in hell in this fight. And you telling people.
Bro, I'm.
From the 2-1
No, I'm telling Omaha.
Oh, you even telling, because it's harder up there.
Oh, it is, bro. I'm saying if y'all want leverage in y'all's conversations.
They ain't got nothing but factory jobs, and I'm not trying to be funny. That's the truth. It's a lot of factory jobs up there, JJ, and you telling them to take two $20 bills?
Hey, we spit it on.
Paper. They need to. You can eat for 3 days off two $20 bills, then pay for a fight where we already know the winner.
Yeah, and that's their hero, Terrence Crawford, charging them in this economy for this fight. In this economy for this fight, we're paying $40 when everybody's struggling right now.
Wouldn't it have been a great business move if Terrence Crawford, even if it is David Avenesian, it would have been a great business move for Black Prime to stream this on their platform for free.
Common sense.
To make a name, right?
100%. Anything. Not coming out the gate when all you've done is backyard brawling. You're not even having a presser. You're robbing the entire sport of the fight we all want. So you guys already have a bad taste in y'all's mouth from the general public. Say, hey guys, we're putting a Crawford up for free. We're streaming it. Go check it out. Now his next fight we're gonna charge, but how difficult would that have been?
JJ, you look. That's why I can't understand. I've been arguing with, and you know it. You know, you tell me about it all the time, the way I go back and forth with Crawford. And I know that's just a story right now. But I've been arguing with Crawford fans for months now. And then when this came up for the last week, now one of them came up with this logical answer. If Crawford was smart, if BLK Prime was smart, do they know how much money they could have made streaming-wise off of this, showing it for free, and the attention that they could have got, especially for Terrence Crawford's first fight? That made more than enough sense to me. But, JJ, that's another thing. $40, JJ.
That's the worst part of the whole story.
40
That's
for
the worst
this
part.
fight, JJ?
Yeah, and I think they're trying to make themselves feel better because, hey, well, other pay-per-views are 70 and 75 and 80, right? No, man. This is, again, Bob Arum said, if these numbers are true, which I'm not here to say if they are or they're not. If they are, kudos to Bud and good luck to BLK because I think you guys are doomed. And I appreciate y'all reaching for the stars because it's a business, you know. But just like Bob Arum said, he should change his name to Jesse James. We heard Floyd Mayweather talking about highway robbery all those years, 10 years ago. Now we have Crawford trying to rob his fans, because those are going to be the only people watching this fight. They've done pissed everybody off in boxing. There's just so many other ways he could have handled this, man. And again, like I've said a million times on the show and on our live stream, I go back and forth with who's to blame or whatever. At the end of the day, I think both these guys wanted to fight. I don't think Bud liked the Heyman contract, which was, from what we know, was kind of a sketchy contract. But
hold up. I'm glad you said that, the Heyman contract. Just like Bob Arum stated earlier, who the hell do Terrence Crawford think he is to think he should be able to talk to Al Heyman?
He don't have a promoter.
When he has no relationship with Al Heyman. Just like Earl Spence said, Terrence Crawford didn't trust his attorneys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Terrence Crawford, that's with your intuition, with your attorneys. But like Bob Arum said, who the hell do he think he is to think that he need to talk to Al Heyman, bro? Like he done did something. What have Terrence Crawford did? This is my thing right here. What have Terrence Crawford did for Al Heyman?
Not a damn thing.
This is the thing right here, JJ. People don't want to bring this up. He could have been done at that contract with Top Rank and been over here with PBC. But he extended his contract with Top Rank. So, like Bob Arum said, you ain't did nothing, Nathaniel, not a thee for PBC. So who the hell do you think you are thinking that you need to talk to Al Heyman when you ain't done nothing for him? JJ, Earl Spence has done a lot for Al Heyman. So who is Al Heyman going to be indebted to, Jay?
No, there's no doubt about that. But I do think Spence is frustrated it didn't happen. I bet Spence is frustrated at the contract. I think Spence wanted this fight too, man. But hold on. I'm going to take a step back, though, because I'm not that mad at the move of Crawford. If that's true, too, everything's reports now. If Crawford went and tried to talk, whether it was a phone conversation or knocked on his door to Al Heyman, for me, that tells me that's a fighter who wants this and is going straight to the horse's mouth. I'm not that mad at that move. Maybe it was a stupid move. Maybe Bob Arum doesn't like it. Me, as somebody who's aggressive and goes out and tries to snatch what I want, I'm not too mad at Bud Crawford going and trying to talk to Al Heyman directly. I'm mad at Bud Crawford charging $40 for that.
Question, why the camera on you? If Bob Arum couldn't make this fight with Al Heyman,
more bad business.
So how the hell would Terrence Crawford, by himself with his attorney, would be able to make this fight? And who is like Bob Arum said, JJ? He said Terrence Crawford. Now, why would Al Heyman want to give you all that money? He said if you want this fight, you got to have somebody who gonna have the money to pay your purse to put that bill on the back end to make this fight go. And Terrence Crawford ain't got that, JJ. That's the big difference. See, what people get things confused is, right, people call me a flip-flopper all the time. I heard all the time, oh, RTB, you're a flip-flopper all the time. No, with time come change, right? And with this time, it came change to where Terrence Crawford is in no position, right? And who do we think he is, JJ? And Arum said that. See, this ain't me. Bob Arum been in this game for 70 years, bro. That's credibility. When he say, who the hell do Terrence Crawford think he is, to think he could come talk to Al Heyman like he done brought millions and millions of dollars to Al Heyman, you haven't. So who do you think you are? He think that, I told you, ego.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Let's get on to
let's get on, man. Let's get on with it. We got time constraints and all that good stuff. But, hey, we can lead it. This is a nice segue into the next thing. Like, we've got, and it's kind of the sub-conversation now that BLK done ruined everybody's Christmas. There's rumors flying around that December 17th, we have Stanionis looking at Spence. Then I seen WBC, Keith Thurman. Mm-hmm. Saying Suleiman came out and said, no, we're the number one contender. So everybody's shooting for Spence. So at least we're going to see Spence fight some real damn competition. Because either one of the Stanionis is good. I don't think he has a chance. I don't think either one of them have a chance against Spence. But at least we've heard of them. At least they're contenders.
I ain't counting Keith Thurman out.
I would be heavily favoring Spence.
Of course, I will favor Spence, but I'm not counting Keith Thurman out. I pick Spence to win the fight, but mental-wise, like Earl Spence will never be under this type of pressure. He'll be under mentally going through a press conference and leading up to the fight. Keith Thurman is a master at his art when it comes to using his tongue. That's something that he is God-gifted with
Oh, yeah.
No, I got Errol Spence winning this fight. I think Errol Spence will stop him with a body shot between 6 and 10 rounds.
I can see the same thing. I can see it. I could see, and it almost be like Keith Thurman obviously ready for the big stage, but man, he won't. Like this is the fight that would. I'll see Spence just like you said, a knockout. Hey, our friend old Ham Rothstein E3 said they stripped Bud butt booty naked. IO. They told him to get rid of Bob. I don't know if you saw the comment.
Oh, they told him to get rid of Bob. Who told him to get? Hold up. He say they told him to get rid of Bob.
He said they stripped Bud butt booty naked. IO. They told him to get rid of Bob.
Yeah, they told him to get rid of Bob, but guess what? What did he do after he got rid of Bob? Not a goddamn thing. He didn't do a goddamn thing. I don't feel sorry for Terrence Crawford. For what? Terrence Crawford, you've been a free agent for 11 months. What go on in your brain? Do it scramble like that? JJ, if you a high priority free agent, is it going to take you that long to get signed?
No, man.
Is it going to take you that long to understand the business-wise to make something happen? And then this dude go to BLK Prime, a starter company. Nobody until 1 week ago from the 214 to across the pond heard of. And people want to make me believe that this guy, and this is respectfully got a mustard seed of a personality, and Terrence Crawford can't sell a damn thing. This, like you said earlier, this is the same guy who was in our city for 2 weeks in a row. He was in Dallas, Texas, that 214, 2 weeks in a row. When people was going up to him, I don't want to do an interview. I don't want to talk about it. Like whoop-de-whoop this and whoop-de-whoop that. I'm like, damn, Terrence Crawford, forget me. I understand why he won't want to do an interview with me, cool. But there's a lot of other media around here he could do an interview with. Why not interview with them? You in Earl City and he did nothing, JJ.
It's sad, bro. It's sad. And I want you to understand, I want y'all to understand that the only check mark I give in this situation, if these numbers are all real, the only one that's benefiting is not the fans, it's not the sport, it's not the media, it's not even the city of Omaha, man. Because, yeah, y'all going to have a fight there. The only one that's benefiting is Terrence Crawford and his family. And listen, if those numbers are real, props to you, because everybody was saying Bud had no other choices. I guess he's showing, but he's pissing off the entire. Yeah, he pissed.
But what choice?
Well, obviously a $10 million choice.
JJ.
Correct. I'm not speaking on if the numbers are real or wrong.
No, but that's kind of how it's leading to, like, the numbers are real. Like,
the numbers are real.
I don't want people to get confused. Like, listen, I'm with my guy, JJ Solomon. It's a possibility. I'm not going to say it ain't. But I'm just a guy who think logical and lose my common sense. I look at this guy as a whole. And like I said, like JJ spoke on earlier, the banker. He said you have bankers, a little small bank, who willing to take a chance. But boxing ain't as big as it used to be no more, in my opinion. So they're going to do their due diligence. And then to get an opponent like this, JJ, you telling me BLK, JJ, what? Hold up, it's on you now, JJ. So what they take this loan for, and they're going to give him $10 million if it's going to lose money. What is that doing to them? How they going to throw the next fight?
No, they're hoping that this is just a Hail Mary, dude, because like you said earlier, they're all X's. There's nothing about the financials that makes sense. And I don't care if it was Canelo, man. Like, the numbers just don't add up. So, yeah, I can see your skepticism, Corey, no doubt. But I'm going because there's a fight on December 10th. It's scheduled. I also heard Bob Arum say that his management, Avicenian or whatever the hell his name is, his management, European management, spent a lot of money on him, like raising money to get him for this fight. So, dog, I don't know.
Hold up, they had to raise money?
Yeah, dude, I was surprised when I heard Arum say that.
So hold up, JJ, the camera's still on you. You telling me that Bob Arum said Ava Steves and them team had to raise money?
No. His managers, they had to pay him a pretty penny. That's what Arum said, though.
But they had to raise money. Like, hold up. So what is BLK Prime doing?
I don't know why.
So that's the same thing Arum was saying about Terrence Crawford. You need to have promotional company, real people behind you who could back that money on you. Now, if you so JJ, let's be honest. BLK Prime didn't just come around fact or fiction.
BLK Prime?
They didn't just come around.
No, they've been around.
I'm talking about in a situation with Terrence Crawford.
Oh.
He didn't just get a phone call from them.
Oh,
last
hell
week,
no.
And they sold him on it like that. They've been around, right?
No doubt.
So if they really believed in Terrence Crawford, why ain't that $10 million in his purse to go against Errol Spence? I don't get it.
I don't see what you're saying.
No, because Bob Arum said what he think Al supposed to do. If you want this fight with Errol Spence, you got to have somebody behind you who willing to put up
Oh,
that
you're saying
money.
why didn't they support?
Why didn't they put up?
That's
JJ,
not their
so
dream.
do you believe? So JJ, why would they put up $10 million versus Ava Steeson instead of $10 million versus Errol Spence? Like, I need to understand this.
Because they're trying to be an outlet, dog. They're not trying to be Terrence Crawford's management team. They're trying to be an outlet. And it's the idea sounds cool. Let me get one of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and let me get one of the biggest lightning rods in boxing in Adrian Broner, and let's just see if it works. I don't care, guy. I don't care who you love here. I'm like trying to see. I know E3's a Bud guy. Like y'all have to understand these numbers don't make sense on a business standpoint. So if the numbers, I'm not saying the numbers aren't true. I'm saying if they are true, it's absolutely insane. I feel like we're going around in circles, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just trying to wonder where they get it from. But like you saying, it's possibilities. So JJ, listen, I want to ask you this because I ain't trying to go around circles.
No, I know. I got one more
this
question to
thing
ask
right here,
too.
like I got to ask you this, right? So when we doing negotiations, right? Supposedly they've been in negotiation for months, right? Terrence Crawford get this fight now. Don't negotiations get threw off the table? Ain't everything threw off the table? now?
With Spence or with BLK?
With Spence, ain't that like ain't PBC looking at like, okay, so you want to like we in the middle of conversations where we almost got this fight, and you do this fight, ain't
That's what happened on
don't
that.
everything start all over? JJ?
Start all over and not ever start again. That's disrespectful, man.
So like that's what I'm saying. So how realistic is Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford?
Everybody, Bud, we didn't even post the Bud statement, but here's Bud's comments. He says, I was really looking forward to the Errol Spence fight. I started communicating with Al Heyman and PBC back in June. Unfortunately, they represent a fighter in Errol who didn't want the fight as bad as I did. I call bullshit. I agreed to all of their BS also, and they've been dragging their ass for months. Spence was nowhere to be found while I was trying to make the deal. Once I'm successful against Avanesian, my plan is still the same, to whoop Errol Spence's ass. But why? All right. Yeah, I mean, we're asking the same damn questions.
What was you going to say?
Why are you fighting on December 10th against somebody who's not Errol Spence, if that's your goal? Now, again, I get it. We talk business all the time. We say business talks. $10 million is a lot of money, dog. It's a lot of money. I get that. And the point I made to you earlier, like you were telling Keith Thurman it was fine to go fight Pacquiao instead of Spence a few years ago. And that was because it was a money grab.
That's many.
Still, man, it was a money.
But he fighting David Evans like the money.
But the money, I'm talking about the money, not the notoriety of the opponent.
But the money add up. It's thorough. You can see the money there with Pacquiao and Thurman. JJ, can you see the money there?
No, it's just coming from a
Crawford
blind
and Evans.
investor.
That's what I'm saying.
A blind investor.
You're totally right. Yeah, of course. If I would fight Pacquiao too because there's more money there. But JJ, the money not thorough for him and Avanesian.
It's there. I don't know how they're going to replace. Well, again, if they're paying, if those numbers are real, it's from somewhere. But let's get. Hey, how about this? How about Errol fight? What if Errol fights one of his damn mandatories and has a bad day in the office and loses one of the belts, and then there really go like it's just so much stuff that can happen.
That would have scared me with the I was real petrified of the Danny Garcia fight.
Oh yeah, well,
and the Ugas fight. But I think I don't think him.
I'm hot.
I don't think him or Terrence Crawford would lose this fight. I don't think either.
I'm hot.
I don't think either one of them realistically, because I ain't no hater. Like we know Terrence Crawford, the odds on that should be 1,000,000 to 1. Like JJ,
yeah,
he gonna make any money.
You know what? It's plus 500. He's not even that big an underdog yet. I mean, that's just to give you an idea. Hellenius was plus 700. I give Hellenius a much better chance to beat Wilder than I give David Avanesian to be
Terry
Crawford.
Sorry, somebody from
Vegas.
must know them in Nebraska.
It'll change. But look, I just changed shirts because I was hot. We're gonna take a quick little break. When we come back, we're gonna discuss Jay Paul versus Anderson Silva, and then the big topic that's been buzzing around is the Tank Davis Ryan Garcia negotiations. It sounds like we're getting close, but in the meantime, you see me just take my hoodie off because it's hot. Let's take a listen to what our friends over at KO CBD got to say.
We all have battles. We fight. We train. We work. We persevere. And we celebrate. We are all one.
I can't do anything if I can't walk in my prosthetic. It's a lot of pain that I feel throughout my day. It can be very intense. Now I just put that balm over it and it will heal up much faster and it will let the callus recover. That's amazing. It is a total game changer. I am hooked. I'm just hooked.
Life is hard. KO makes it better. KOCBD.com.
to Across the Pond. We are the Spit Bucket Podcast. We need everybody from the 214 to Across the Pond. Go on YouTube, subscribe to the Spit Bucket Podcast. We need y'all. Please go on YouTube and subscribe to the Spit Bucket Podcast. We got a lot going. We got a lot coming. And speaking of a lot coming, our week in LA was just simply amazing, especially to be around a rising young boxing star. Could possibly be a superstar if he keep going in Floyd Kid Austin Schofield.
Just take a look at some highlights from Kid Austin, man. Huge debut on the Golden Boy roster.
We all have battles.
Sorry about that. But yeah, man, ferocious, aggressive, humble, confident, big game plan, big goals, has a goal, has actual strategy for his life. Good people around him, dad who loves him, dad who brings in help and doesn't try to keep him all to himself. Correct. Floyd Kid Austin Schofield, for me, has all the signs of a superstar, dude.
No, I agree with you 100%. You know, it's certain things you look at as a fighter, right? You try to look at all the things that you see in a guy who you could possibly see, yeah, he one of them ones. And what we done seen in Kid Austin thus far in his young career, this guy is showing he have the ingredients to be one of the best. You know, it's a lot of buzz around him. You're talking about confidence. Him and his father is the confidence people on the world, just like every other probably father and son is in what they do. And I got to give them credit because they say we want the big boys.
No doubt.
They say we've been in there. We were getting these champions prepared. We hurt this guy. We know this guy can't do that. They letting it be known. They say we don't get invited to camps anymore because these guys know who we are. So when I tell everybody from the 214 to Across the Pond, if you're not paying attention to Floyd Kid Austin Schofield, you better start paying attention.
To that point, listen to what Floyd Sr. had to say.
When Keyshawn gonna fight cab drivers, he said he's a businessman, right? He didn't say he didn't fight. He said he's a businessman. Now let's do business. Now come on now, if you want to say, okay, if he want to act like he's just a new fighter, and then later on become the businessman, we'll understand. Okay. But I think that he could make 6 figures off this fight, so why not? You the businessman.
All right, Keyshawn Davis, you heard her first. You got Floyd Schofield Sr. He's letting you know his son, Floyd Kid Austin Schofield Jr., he want that work.
And he was stopping within the second round.
Go.
I would do the side thing. I'll bet all y'all and everybody else that Keyshawn would not make it past the second round.
Woo-hoo.
That he would get stopped.
Woo-hoo.
And Keyshawn could prove it. Let's go.
This was so confident, man. They were great people. Calling out Keyshawn. And I forgot to tell you this. Keyshawn went live yesterday on Instagram, And I just put on there, hey, I said, hey, Keyshawn, Kid Austin is talking big, calling out. And he read it, and he said he's just looking for clout. He said nobody was talking about Keyshawn before he started making all those tweets about Bud and Spence and all that stuff. He said any prospect who's mentioning my name is just looking for clout and likes. We saw with our own 2 eyes. We've seen film. We've seen video, sparring footage. The kid is ferocious. And, you see fathers coming along. It's a dime a dozen, right? Fathers always talking about their son's the future champ, best in the world. I'm telling you guys, if y'all haven't kept up with Kid Austin, do yourself a favor. Keep up with him because he's got the full package.
What he mean by that, though?
Well,
Talking about he looking for clout.
He's saying the Kid Austin only calling him out now because his name's in the mix. But
don't act like Kid Austin name ain't in the mix. This is a guy who 12-0 with 10 knockouts, just got a big time contract with Golden Boy Promotions, one of the premier promotion companies on the planet. So it ain't like he looking for clout. This is a guy who has a strong amateur pedigree background of resume surrounding him, and also his pro record is showing us eye test that he is for real. So with Keyshawn Sanders, that kind of bothered me a little bit because this was the same guy who was so ferocious to get on the camera and say he gonna do this, say other people scared, whoop-de-whoop this and whoop-de-whoop that. His daddy said that Floyd Kid Austin is the best prospect. You think you're the best prospect. Floyd Kid Austin 12-0 with 10 knockouts. I think, what is his record?
6-0?
6-0 with like 4 or 5 knockouts. Like, he has a better record than you. So with you saying he looking for clout, how's he looking for clout? His amateur pedigree, him being in all these gyms around the world, getting all these champions ready, that's not looking for clout to me. That's looking like a guy who want to show everybody that he is the better fighter.
No doubt, dude. And, man, I slipped my mind what I was going to say about Keyshawn. I know he's got a fight coming up in December. No, I completely forgot. I'm sure it'll come back to me. But anyhow, man, look out for this guy. We had a damn good time. It sounds like he might be fighting again in January. We'll see how all that pans out. But speaking of January, it sounds like we're getting close. But again, please don't hold your breath because we know how our wonderful sport loves to mess with us. But it looks like we're getting close to a good old Tank and Garcia. I say getting close. They have agreed, I say that in air quotes, to a shell of a contract. They've agreed to details, but obviously the big holdup is DAZN, Showtime, Golden Boy, Mayweather. Do you think it happens?
I think so. But just looking at Tank Davis' background and the way he operates and the way he been moving ever since he became a champion 6 or 7 years ago.
Long time ago.
We ain't seen this guy, walk that. We ain't seen him walk there, walk that. We ain't seen him do that, Jay. We just seen him every time before he got to fight. Oh, Mayweather Promotions, they don't want to see me succeed. Oh, I'm not with Mayweather Promotions. Oh, whoop-de-whoop this, whoop-de-whoop that. I made a post the other day. I said, damn, Javante, you starting to sound like the Little Red and Riding Hood, like a dude who cry wolf all the time. So with him done been crying wolf for so long, how can we believe this guy? Because to me and to a lot of people from the 214 across the pond, it seems like he uses that beef with him and Mayweather to help promote a fight. And that doesn't work on the boxing community because we see how it's steady going in circles. Oh, now you into it with Mayweather. Oh, Mayweather, go see with one of my ex-girlfriends. Buy me whoop-de-whoop this, whoop-de-whoop that. Stop playing with me.
Bro, and I thought I had a tweet here from Tank. Let me see if I can find it. Nope, that's not it. Well, yeah, to your point, the only reason I think that we're getting close to something, and this was something that you noted, like every time a Tank Davis fight is coming up, he starts doing the Mayweather breakup drama. He tweeted, I thought I had a shot, so my bad, but it didn't. With that shot you sent me, what did he say? I need to take my talents elsewhere, and they're playing games or something like that?
LeBron James want to be it.
Yeah, and he's doing it again. He's starting this fake story that him and Mayweather are breaking up, get everybody talking about him, and maybe we see Ryan Garcia and Tank in January. But dog, there's so many hoops to jump through and so many obstacles. Like we seeing it right now. And Golden Boy and PBC don't like each other.
They done
Or not PBC,
yeah, but that fight should happen January.
I hope so, dog.
I feel like Tank and Ryan, they done did what they needed to do to make that a big fight. I think everybody is intrigued by this matchup because when we look at each fighter, we see that they bring a skill set of one-punch knockout power. Not just a knockout power. They got boxing skills and so other.
Yeah, no doubt.
But one thing that we know both of them got is devastating knockout power. With any moment of the fight, they could be out of there. So let's make it happen.
Yeah, I got 2 questions for you on that topic. First one is, who wins? Second one is, does that fight do better numbers than the potential if we ever see Spence-Crawford?
No. The first
Number. The first one, who wins?
Who wins? I favor Tank.
You favor Tank?
I favor Tank. I feel like experience-wise, I feel like Ryan Garcia do got all the accolades to beat him, but I don't think Ryan Garcia been in a pressure moment like this yet to where he got the where it's gonna be difficult in that ring. This ain't going against that guy from across the pond.
Mm-hmm.
You're going against Tank Davis. And this is no fault to say I favor Tank. This is just Ryan Garcia opportunity to show up and show out. Second question, you stated, do this do more numbers?
Spence-Crawford.
Absolutely not. Excuse me. Everybody from the 214 across the pond, we know what the big fight is. And it's Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Everybody is salivating, right? Like when we look at Ryan Garcia, we look at the Tank Davis, we look at these guys, like this ain't trend setting that's gonna, like it'll help their career, but this ain't the one for them that's gonna be like, oh, this is the big time fight. When we look at Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, this is the big time fight.
For history,
yeah. And everybody know that. Like, ask E Thriller. You can ask E Thriller. I say this on camera. I told him, I said, I wanted to see them fight, but then I said, I think they need to fight somebody else anyway.
Spence-Crawford?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's playing out just like that. Now, think about this. Like, look how much buzz, even though we may not like the situation, look how much buzz this Spence and Crawford fight getting right now. Just think if they're able to both fight, if Crawford fight December 10th, Earl fight December 17th.
Don't do this to me. You get me all excited now, man. Don't do this to me.
It makes sense now. Like,
the world is talking.
Woo, you can ask E Thriller the Black Picasso. I told him this personally. We was chatting on the phone. I woo-de-woo. Even though, we want to see this fight. But I said, if you think about it business-wise, it ain't been close. Like when we almost think it's sterile, and they snatch it away. Remember how we almost out the floor Mayweather, even though it ain't that big.
Well, dog, Bud and Spence was close.
Yeah, but it was close.
From what we heard.
No, I know. I'm talking about it was close now. And guess what they did?
I see what you're saying. And now it's time for them to make up to the boxing fans.
No,
and
it's like, ooh, now, like.
So you saying this is intentional? Or you think it's just the way the cookie crumbling?
No, I just think it's the way the ball bounced. I think it's the way the ball bounced because I think Terence Crawford was starting to feel that pressure. He was starting to question himself. He was starting to question because, and no disrespect to Terence Crawford, but this was a guy who, talking disrespectfully, not saying Earl Spence either, but he's talking away like, I'm going to stop him. Most of his fans saying he going to stop him. And, at least you hear the Earl Spence, you have, it goes that way on both sides. But Terence Crawford is more vocal into, I'm going to whoop his ass, I'm going to whoop-de-whoop, do this and do that. And I think Terence Crawford was possibly feeling the pressure. Like, do I want to go into this fight?
No tune-up, nothing?
With a year layoff, going up against a guy like Earl Spence, he could say all he wants to. He could bark, roof, 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 just like Earl Spence could bark, roof, 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 roof. Like, what they seeing at each other ain't the real deal. But game recognized game. They know each other is the real deal. And Crawford knew that he couldn't go in this fight with a year layoff to fight Earl Spence.
I agree. I
knew that.
I hope you're right, dog. I hope you're right. Somehow we got slipped into a Crawford talk. What the hell's happening here? Hold up, something's on the computer tripping. To answer my question, I'll give the edge to Tank. Had you asked me this a year and a half ago, I wouldn't have even addressed it because I thought it was a joke. But yeah, I think Ryan's got all the skill sets, but I've still yet to see him put it all together in one fight in the ring. He can do all the sparring, all the shadow boxing, all that he wants. His defense to me is still too vulnerable. He still just leaves his head there. He pulls straight back. I just see Tank, if he gets inside.
What about Tank, though? He was getting hit a lot. And, JJ, think about it. Rolly is a good fighter, but Rolly ain't a guy who we will put up there like.
No, not even close.
Like skill set wise. Like Rolly is a big puncher, and he's a big puncher who came from kickboxing. But Rolly was able to touch Tank, even though it may have been the plan, but he was able to touch him for 6 rounds where that fight was close to me.
Yeah, I think Ryan's going to be a little bit more careful, though. Rolly came in knowing I only got one shot at this, and it's just with a one big swing, and Tank was ready for it. It was easy. I mean, it's never easy, but I think it was an easy game plan for Tank. And then I think he's going to do more numbers? Everybody always talking about Ryan Garcia's Instagram. You know who follows his Instagram? A bunch of 16-year-old girls who ain't going to buy pay-per-views.
Hold up, JJ.
I'm saying a large audience,
No,
a large chunk of it.
But listen to me.
A large chunk of it.
I met Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm telling you, and this one he was just coming onto the scene at Maple Avenue Boxing Gym. Shout out to my dog Grady. I met Ryan Garcia at Maple Avenue Boxing Gym. This was about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
JJ, daddies drove from 12 and 16 hours away just to bring their daughter to see Ryan Garcia. JJ, when I tell you, like, this is Ryan Garcia. He's had a line outside of the wall, and this ain't no disrespect, but do you think Virgil Ortiz gonna get a line all the way around the corner? Like, Ryan Garcia. Yeah. Like, JJ, the question to you is, who is the A-side?
That's a hell of a question, bro. That's a hell of a question because they're both huge draws. They both got a huge fan base. They both got people that can't stand them. They both got the argument.
Do they got a huge fan base, or do Javante lean on Mayweather fan base?
I mean, he does a little bit, just like Ryan leaned on De La Hoya's fan base when he first came out. So he does a little bit, but Tank's got his own supporters where, just like all these other big-name boxers, you can't say anything bad about Tank, and those guys are going to – I think that's a 50-50 split. I don't know who would be A-side Bs. That's a 50-50 split. They're both big names. Like, they're both popular names, hot names. I don't, like – to me, that fight doesn't really do anything for the history books. Like, I'm not wishing that's the
I'm scrolling on my articles. I
scroll. You got to say it the way you used to say it on your –
I want to see if
get on that mic, Corey.
I want to see who got the bigger following on Instagram.
Oh, that's going to be Ryan, bro. That's going to be Ryan, no doubt. Ryan's a pretty boy.
Javante got 3.7 million. Ryan Garcia got...
Hey, put that camera on you. I'm sitting here
Well,
staring
Ryan Garcia got 9 million.
Yeah, but a lot of those are kids who ain't going to buy pay-per-views.
We don't know that. See, there you go.
You could literally click on them and see who his followers are. A bunch of little kids.
But, JJ, I told you these daddies drove their daughters hours away. Some drove from Arizona, Las Vegas.
That 50-50? 50-50 split? Is that fair? I mean, we have enough obstacles to go through with the networks and the promoters. Let's leave the finance, make it easy. 50-50 split, right?
I'm looking at Ryan Garcia last post. It did 8 million.
Oof. That's a lot of eyeballs, bro.
Let me look at...
That's 16 million eyeballs.
Let me see. That's one with some views.
Bro, Ryan's checking out too, dog. Ryan ain't going to be here for too long. Ryan's going to get his money, win or lose.
It don't show no video. His last post, he got 297,491 likes. Let me just go look at a post of Ryan Garcia and see if he got that.
Oh, no doubt, dog.
It won't let me see. It don't tell you how many.
Did Ryan block IOTBA or what?
No.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Like, dude, he got 1,289,847
Views?
Likes.
Yeah, likes. Damn, likes, not even views.
Likes.
Yeah, so I know we're just sitting here pulling numbers out of social media, but
Views?
yeah.
16 million.
Yeah.
JJ, who is the A side?
I say 50-50 split because you look at that. You look at what their accomplishments what the hell, accomplishments are in the ring. That's gonna lean toward Tank a little bit.
But what about? But look, I'm not to play devil advocate. I'm not trying to bring them back up. Crawford got more accomplishments than Earl Spence.
But you talking about pay-per-view sales? We know Tank can put seats in the ass, seats and asses in the seat. Boy, I'm losing it.
We know Ryan Garcia can too. JJ,
For the sake of let's make the fight happen and not spend years debating this, let's make it a 50-50.
but
Because we
Jay,
could do this, like people could do this all day.
I know
Both guys have arguments.
But Ryan is doubling them, tripling them.
In social media views. That doesn't always convert
JJ,
to convert to
I
pay-per-view
heard somebody
buys.
say this the other day, right? Ryan Garcia got a GMC commercial.
Like a rock.
A GMC commercial. This dude, this was on the Boxing Voice. This one dude said,
And Gatorade too.
I could go, yeah, he mentioned Gatorade too. He said, I can go to GMC and I want the Ryan Garcia. JJ, that don't make a big difference. Do Tank got a national?
No, not at all. Ryan's got that baby face look. He's marketable. Tank, you know.
Tank got a baby face too.
No, I'm saying, yeah, but Tank's a little more rough around the edges.
Now we're trying to pick and choose.
Now, I don't want to do this. I don't want to pick and choose.
I'm talking about
50-50 fight.
So what that he got a pretty boy face? So what? He doing more numbers, JJ. Let's not bring up that he got a pretty boy face. He doing more numbers.
Daryl Benson says the venue determines the A side. So, Daryl, explain. Are you saying if this is in New York, if this is in Brooklyn, the Barclays Center, or is that what you're saying? If it's on the East Coast versus West Coast? LA's going to back Garcia for sure, man. New York, I see what you're saying. East Coast,
But
West.
even in the West Coast, like, so you think
West Coast is heavily favored Garcia.
But you know what? I think Ryan Garcia wants this fight so much because this is a fight that could make him a
Rich.
mega superstar. Like, I don't know how much this fight could do for Tank. Like, it can get him a lot of money in his pocket.
If it's a devastating knockout, people are going to be talking about it.
No, but I don't know how much it does for Tank because
I don't consider Ryan. Well, go ahead and finish what you're saying. My bad.
no. You like what you been saying?
I was gonna say I don't put Ryan, even though he's a devastating puncher. Don't get me wrong. Hell, Rolly's a devastating puncher, but yeah, Ryan's got more skills. I don't put Ryan in the same category as I do Shakur, Haney. Now he can touch any of these guys at any point and end the night, but I don't put him in that same boxing category as I do Shakur, Haney, Lomachenko. Those guys to me are in an upper tier. So but he's up there. If Tank knocks out Ryan, I think that launches.
Big,
yeah.
But who is it bigger for?
Does he make TSB pound for pound list?
No, I'm saying JJ.
Who's it bigger for?
Who is it bigger for? Like, I know it launches both of them up, but who is it bigger for? Because in my opinion, it'll be big for Tank Davis. I agree with you wholeheartedly, 100%, because Ryan Garcia is a big name. You know, if Tank knock him out in devastating fashion, it'll be huge for him. But JJ, it'll be extremely huge if Ryan Garcia knocked Tank Davis out in devastating fashion. So, in my opinion, I think it votes Ryan Garcia more. Not saying that Tank don't get captivated, but I think it captivate Ryan Garcia more.
And here's my take on how I think, and you heard it here first. This just popped in my head. I don't think either one of these two guys at this point of their career care too much anymore about going down as one of the best ever. I don't think they care about their boxing legacies no more. I would not be surprised to see this fight, see a rematch, and then see both of them just kind of fade away slowly. Not retire, but just kind of fade away slowly. Maybe Ryan retire, Tank just fade away slowly because they're going
What you mean they young, Jay?
I know, dog, but I don't see that drive in them to just kind of want to be the best.
Mayweather made it like this. It's about money now. Like
for that generation, yeah.
But I think we got about 5 more years before we get past this, Jay.
I think we are finally getting past it. It could be 5 years, but I think when you talk about
a couple of more years, but like you got Ryan Garcia,
Tank, Bud, Spence.
as long as Mayweather got Gervonta Davis and he winning, A-side. Now, the way we break the code, if the code gonna get broke, I think Ryan Garcia has to defeat Gervonta Davis, like, to break the code of that A-side, B-side. We got to get Floyd from stop talking about that. Oh, I want to be careful with my career with Floyd. That was in the latter part of your career. You didn't want to be careful with your career when you was Pretty Boy Floyd trying to work your way up to that De La Hoya fight so you can get that big time money.
Bro, Floyd knows that. Floyd, look, man, I don't know this to be true, but from the outside looking in, we know Floyd's got the biggest damn ego in boxing. He's not going to put his fighter in position to have a better, more illustrious career. If you don't agree with me, don't agree with me. But he's made Tank a lot of money, no doubt. But he's not going to put Tank in position to where one day Tank is going to be mentioned with the great. He's just not. And he knows Tank does not want to be there, dog. He wouldn't be putting those tweets. And then, and Floyd's going to just keep luring him on in. It's his cash cow. So we'll see. I would love to kick off 2023 with Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis, but
let me ask you a question while the camera's still on you. Like, thus far, what you grade 2022?
Oh, dog, even without Spence-Crawford,
What you give it?
I give it an A+. I give it an A+, bro, because we're seeing new names. We're seeing, you know, the big names, the current big names, the top 5 pound for pound. We've seen them in the ring. We've seen women's boxing elevate to a whole new level. You know, we see fighters like Bam who are now on the scene. We've seen Devin Haney win undisputed and come out and defend his title in 1 year. We've seen Wilder come back. Like, we've seen so much that I hope we don't get spoiled.
Speaking
because
of that, another question. I need your top 3 fighters. Not who we gonna pick, because you know we gonna delegate about that. But I need your top 3 fighters right now. Who you think should be in contentions for Fighter of the Year?
Fighter of the Year. I will go. Hey, this should be another episode, Corey. But hold on, I'll go ahead and answer your question. I'm gonna go in no order. We still gotta talk about it. I would go.
No, this is another show.
Yeah.
January the 2nd, 2020.
No, that's our anniversary
so it's gonna probably be the last week.
Last week of December, we'll give out our awards. I wouldn't have I say Haney, Bam. Man, besides, I just think of their activity. For me, it's Haney or Bam. I wouldn't even.
I got.
What happened? Oh,
I got 3 fighters. I'm with you on Bam Rodriguez. I got Devin Haney, and I got Jermell Charlo. I think Jermell Charlo deserves strong consideration for Fighter of the Year. You got to understand, JJ, he came back and became undisputed champion before anybody else. Canelo was already undisputed, but Canelo lost the fight this year. But before anybody else became undisputed, Jermell Charlo did that this year.
That's not a race. You have 12 months to do it.
I know, but
and Haney fought twice. Bam's fought 3 times.
No, I'm saying Jermell Charlo is in contention. I ain't saying in a particular order, but I'm saying he deserves strong consideration.
For bouncing back from a difficult-ass fight with Castaño and coming back and stopping him?
For everything, look, JJ, if we look at...
Well, if we're doing that, then why not Spence coming back from the retina injury? You know, like you can...
How many fights Spence had this year?
Same thing, 1.
1 fight?
Yeah, I wouldn't put Jermell... Badass performance.
Yeah, but he became undisputed, JJ.
Yeah, dog, he became undisputed. It's a conversation for another day. He did as a hell of a job. Clarissa Shields became undisputed again. Why can't she? You know, we should talk about her. It's a different category, but I get it.
And we're gonna do that too.
Yeah,
the women's because we could shout out to the ladies. Shout out to Clarissa the Quote Shields. I remember my first conversation with Clarissa. You know, when Clarissa was on there saying, you know, Mr. RTBA, Mr. I'm on that bullshit again. I said, Clarissa, stop crying. I said, you are the centerpiece of what's gonna make women boxing what it is today. Like, of course, Clarissa gave me a strong inbox message.
Yeah.
A strong inbox message. But I need Clarissa Shields to look back on that day when she was pissed. And she had every right to be pissed at me because I told her to stop crying. But I was making a true assessment. You was the centerpiece of what was going to make women's boxing what it is. And JJ, she have captivated the sport for women's boxing. Not just her, but she is the lead dog in the race.
She's the lead dog in the race, and she's the lead dog in women's history. And the point you made the other day, dude, one day you're going to have to be able to talk about her because of her accomplishment as one of the greatest to ever do it. It's not her fault she was born a woman because she's lining them up, she's putting them down, she's setting her goals this high, and she's attacking them. And not only is she attacking them, she's accomplishing them. She's victorious. So, man, you could throw her in there, and I don't want to have a problem with it, to be honest with you. Like, but for me right now, yeah, it would be Bam or Haney, and we had to really sit down and discuss it and dive down and all that sort of deal. But I love what Bam Rodriguez has done too. He's in a smaller weight class, so a lot of people won't bring him up. But coming in as a replacement, winning the belt, fighting the guy he replaced, defending that, and then coming in again on Canelo's undercard, and that was a more of a tough fight, but he still looked good in it. I love what Bam's done, and he's really put San Antonio and him and his brother on the map.
Oh, absolutely. Bam Rodriguez has did a sensational, extraordinary job this year making a name for himself. And when you talking about beating the walls down, I'll be knocking those down. Knocking. Bam Rodriguez came in with 2 foot, and he ain't put his feet up off the gas ever since. Now, when you're talking about a fighter of the year, if everybody around the world don't have Bam Rodriguez in consideration
In the conversation
for fighter of the year, what are you talking
You
about?
haven't watched them.
And
That's why.
Your list makes no sense.
Oh, they told me. I was like, we were agreeing.
No,
we were
no.
agreeing, Corey. No, yeah. If you're not talking about Bam being fighter of the year, then you haven't watched him. You know, a lot of times people think of Mexican fighters and they just come in head first, no defense. Bam is a technician, and if you haven't seen him, go look up his 3 fights this year. You've seen him shock the world coming in, like I said, as a replacement, gets a knockout. So I just love what he's doing. I love his work ethic. We always talk about that, the work ethic. We've got some dogs in boxing right now. 3 of them from Texas with Virgil. And Jamel was a hard worker. We got a lot of dogs in boxing, dog. Like, just, it's good time for the sport. I hear
hey, JJ,
Leroy
just said a question. He said Haney should get it because he went to someone else's backyard and took the belts, and he took a pay cut, and he went back and defended the belt.
That's why I would bring him up. But my argument against that would be it's Kambosos. And I know Kambosos beat Teofimo, but I don't know that that's a reason to give somebody fight of the year. You've seen Lennox Lewis come over. You've seen the Klitschko's fight in Vegas plenty of times. You've seen Mexican fighters come from Mexico all the time.
But ain't that unprecedented for an American to have to do that? Because
that shouldn't be extra points.
I know, but
when everybody does it.
I know, but that's just the way the world is. We America. We like Burger King. We like to have it always.
Well, if I'm a voter, I'm not going to factor that in. I'm going to factor in Haney stepped up and.
But JJ, you say Kambosos just beat T.O. T.O. beat Lomachenko. You got to look at all that though.
We said.
And we can't knock. Kambosos was an undefeated fighter who came into that fight with a lot of momentum. It was a lot of people picking Kambosos to win that fight. So, like I said, it's no right or wrong with Devin Haney, Bam Rodriguez, them two, Jamel Charlo. Who else been knocking doors down? Like who?
Shit, you can throw Bivol in there, especially if he beats Sudo.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, like you can throw Bivol in there.
How can you?
Yeah.
Like, that is. Oh
Usyk came in, he...
Was it one fight? He fought one time? Was it twice this year?
Did he fight twice this year, man?
I don't think it
When did AJ... that was probably 2021.
Hey, JJ, you made a hell of a freaking... Damn.
Bivol, like we just...
Bivol, bro.
Yeah.
He beat the #1 pound for pound at the time in Canelo. And then if he beats Zudo Ramirez we're going to have to delegate.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun conversation.
Damn, I'm sorry, Dimitri. I apologize. JJ, I forgot. JJ, I forgot about Bivol.
Everybody forgets about Bivol. Yeah.
No, you know that's crazy because Canelo has been so dominant, right? And Bivol came in there and he really dominated Canelo and totally slipped my mind. JJ, oh my God.
We got a new contestant in the game.
Oh
we got a new
my
challenger.
God.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we got another topic. But before, man, I just want to remind everybody to please follow our platforms. We're on Facebook right now, but we're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio. But please go and follow our YouTube. We have a lot of stuff that we're doing. We're not just doing the podcast, but we've got events going on. We've got an NFT collection that's going to give. We've already done one NFT collection where those people get to go with us whenever we have an official TSB event. Lifetime access, but we're dropping another NFT collection that's going to give people private meet and greets, fight nights with fighters, well-known fighters. So we want y'all to keep up with all of that. And so follow our Twitter, TSB Podcast, OFCL, or you can just search the Spit Bucket Podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube because that's where a lot of our interviews and a lot of that stuff's going on. We've got a lot of stuff going on. We've got a toy drive coming up in the DFW area for the holidays. We've got foundations that we're building, charities and stuff like that. So I would just please beg you, not beg you, but really, really kindly ask you guys to go and please follow our other platforms because Correa and I, IOTBA and I aren't just here to talk about our opinions in boxing. We're here to make a change. We're here to grow the sport. And we just ask for y'all's support. We would really appreciate it.
JJ, this came from out of nowhere. Shout out to Anthony Granger. He said Ryan would stop Haney feather dusting ass.
Who said that?
Anthony Granger.
He said Ryan would stop.
He would stop him.
Listen, dog.
Why people ain't putting no respect on Haney? Because it's like.
All right, listen. Yeah, let's talk Haney a little bit, and we'll talk. Listen, we're gonna talk Jake Paul and Anderson Silva real quick. Who's gonna win? Do you care?
Oh no, I'm really intrigued by this fight because the reason why I'm intrigued by this fight is because Anderson Silva is a guy
I don't know why
who really been in combat sports. He really know how to box and throw combinations and have excellent footwork. Jake Paul is a guy who new on the scene. He younger. I know Anderson Silva is 47 years old. But like I say, like Jake Paul gonna really have to show me in this fight with a guy as skillful as Anderson Silva. Now, I'm not gonna say Jake Paul, his power ain't for real, but like it's just hard to say because we ain't really seen him in there against guys who really do that. And I'm really bothered about the reports we spoke about earlier that came out that Anderson Silva got knocked out in training camp
two
times. And now I was scrolling on my articles. They said the commission will be meeting on that tonight to see if the fight gonna go through.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's still gonna go through. Too much money. Nobody cheated. Anderson knows this is not how I see about the sport, but Anderson knows what he's getting into every time he steps in the ring. Mm-hmm. I think they're gonna just, Anderson's taking it back too, saying he didn't get knocked out now a couple times. Look, I think this is a cool fight because I think Jake Paul's competition stepping up. We've seen Anderson Silva beat an actual boxer, embarrass the sport, embarrass the family name, and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. So Anderson Silva's got some skills. Who knows what's going to happen Saturday? It's a fun watch. I'm not going to sit here and spend all night talking about Anderson Silva and Jake Paul, but who do you think's going to win? Yeah, no, I don't even know.
I don't know.
Jake Paul could land a shot, or Anderson could outbox him all night.
I don't know. Like, this the first, like, Anderson Silva, even though he's 47 years old, like, I think this is Jake Paul toughest test so far. But let's give a shout out to our sponsors, KOCBD Therapeutics. Shout out to y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all use our promo code TSB10. Check them out.
We all have battles. We fight. We train. We work. We persevere. And we celebrate. We are all one.
I can't do anything if I can't walk in my prosthetic. It's a lot of pain that I feel throughout my day. It can be very intense. Now I just put that balm over it and it will heal up much faster and it will let the callus recover. That's amazing. It is a total game changer. I am hooked. I am absolutely, I'm just hooked.
Life is hard. KO makes it better. KOCBD.com.
All across the pond. Hold up. It's your boy, Mr. RTB, and Mr. 214, Senor Dos 14. My guy, Don Jose Jr., JJ Solomon. My guy, half of the Spit Bucket podcast. He wanted to clarify the situation on Devin Haney and Kambosos. Don Jose Jr., JJ Solomon, the floor is yours.
No, I was just saying, because when we went to break, Corey said that he said, you're making stuff up. You picked Haney to win. No, I did pick Haney to beat Kambosos. But I was addressing your question earlier when you said, why are people still not putting respect on Haney's name? And this is, again, my opinion. This is my personal crave for boxers. Like, I want Haney. I love what he brings to the table. I love his work ethic. I love his attitude. I want Haney to be one of my favorite fighters. I want to look forward to his fights.
He's my new favorite fighter.
Yeah, I know. I seen this. No, I we talk about it all the time. But the rematch, I wanted Haney to put him away. I believe with all my heart he could have put him away. He beat him up, and I want to be careful when I say this. He beat him up. He beat the snot out of him. It wasn't even close. Mm-hmm. But for me, what I wanted to see more was more of an arsenal. I wanted to see more body attack. I wanted to see more combinations put together. And that fight, though he tore him up, it was just power pop shots. And it turned out to be about 300 of them. And it bloodied up Kambosos, don't get me wrong. I wanted to see more of a full attack, all well-rounded attack. So for me, that's why.
He didn't show you no full attack, JJ.
No, there's a lot left in the tank for Haney.
Absolutely it is. But JJ, he beat the shit out Kambosos. I'm talking about it wasn't no ordinary ass whooping like the first one where it was jab, hold. He beat, even though it was there was some powerful one-punch power. That's give credit to Kambosos for having a chin and having heart. Because any other fighter got hit that many goddamn times flush would have been out of there.
That fight would have been done by the 8th round had Haney started attacking the body.
He didn't do that early. So now I agree with you on that.
He could have done it, and it was there. It was there for him. Kambosos was so confused. He had no idea how to. He had nothing. He had nothing to present to Haney, and he was checked out early. So I just feel like Haney could have done more. Again,
and that's no knock.
That's no knock. He's in my conversation for Fighter of the Year. And he's turned you into a fan. He's turned me into somebody who wants to be a big fan. I'm a fan of Haney's, but I just want to see him step it up. I want to see him put that pedal to the metal. I want to see that killer instinct and finish these guys. So he's young, bro. He's a baby. He's a kid still. He's still got power to grow.
He's a grown ass man. He's 24 years old.
Yeah, I know some of the.
But
I know
he can get better though.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get better. He's gonna get stronger. And again, he's another one that I believe has got good people around him, not just sucking money from him and that sort of deal. So Bill Haney doing a hell of a job keeping them lined up. So I'm excited, man.
Absolutely. I ain't gonna lie to you, JJ. I'm all about show and tell with me, right? And it just is what it is with me. People think I just crown these dudes. No, I just don't crown them. But when you show and tell me, I'm going to put that crown on your head. And what Devin Haney showed me, because I was very critical of him. Not critical of him of skill set wise, but dude, you got to show me before I could just crown you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not saying you're going to lose or whoop-de-whoop. You just got to show me. I know you got the skill set to win. And when Devin Haney showed me, not one time, but 2 times, and he went across the pond, like, that just changed the game for me. He is like, there's no right or wrong answer with a couple of fighters in the world, right?
No doubt.
But as of right now, Devin Haney is my young best fighter in boxing.
I love it, dude. I'm trying to think who mine would be. Obviously, I'm real high on Shakur Stevenson, super high on Shakur Stevenson. I was very disappointed to see him miss weight. We know that was a matter of time before it happened. which weight is also an issue for Devin Haney from the looks of it.
Never missed it.
He never missed it, no doubt. But he looked like he's hurting that day on the weigh-ins. And when we were talking to Floyd Sr., Schofield Sr., he's like, there's no knockout power because he's drained. So that could be true. Or he might not have knockout power and then move up to 140, and now he's really in with some bigger hitters, and that could be more dangerous. So for me, the jury's still out. I have a huge crop of young fighters. I'm excited about their future.
Quick question. If you Haney right now, because people saying the weight drain, he have been there for a long time. He even mentioned it, but he also mentioned weight wasn't a problem, but from when he looked at the pictures, he could look and see, what people were discussing about. Has Haney done enough for you at 135?
To move up?
To where he can move up to where you could say,
hell yeah. Hell yeah. I would have no problem with Haney moving up. But again, my concern was the thing, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but his negative thing across a lot of boxing fans is the power there. So I'd be real interested to see if moving up is going to give him more strength, or is he going to be at a disadvantage with bigger hitters who could take bigger shots and no strengths coming up with him. So I would love to see Haney move up. That's where everybody's going. I think Shakur will probably run 135 and end up at 142. So I'm all for it, bro. That whole 130, 135, 140 section is loaded. And hopefully we get to see our boy Kid Austin. We heard –
hey, Kid Austin, I wish you would have had that clip.
I know. We'll have it next time.
Put that on Instagram.
Yeah.
He called a lot of people out at 135, so I want y'all to look out for that coming up real soon. We got to drop that video, and when I tell you he had some things to say.
That's what I was gonna say. My favorite thing that Kid Austin said, because obviously his dad's already trying to match him up with Haney and all these guys. But what I love about what Kid Austin told us was there can't be 15, 20 top prospects. Let's fight, and let's determine who the top prospect is.
Let me ask you this, playing devil's advocate. Don't they all say that when they on the come up? Earl Spence was saying that.
Can't have all the prospects.
I'm just saying, but don't they? I mean, I'm just playing devil's
advocate.
I believe Kid Austin, Jay, but don't they all say that when they on the come up?
Dog, here's Floyd Schofield talks a big game, the dad. But what we were talking about on the way over here is he hasn't given us a reason to doubt him yet.
True.
Everything he said, from predictions to claims about sparring, he showed us on video. Like everything he said, where at first we're like, come on, dog. He shuts us up. So there's something there. When you talk to Kid Austin, when you talk to Dad, you just feel it.
Yep.
You feel like he's not just gassing him up. He's not just, so man, I'm excited. I hope
Another question. While the camera on you. Now, we'll save that because this 135-pound division is on fire, and we need to dissect.
Oh yeah,
we need to really dissect these divisions
and see who comes out at the top in 2023, bro.
I'm just saying for Kid Austin, they reaching for sky to the limits. Do you think they 12-0 with 10 knockouts? Ready to move on to the next level?
Man, he told us a million times already. I've seen this a million times in sport. Great prospects get thrown in there too early. I've mentioned Fernando Vargas' situation and with Tito Trinidad. I mean, is he ready? He's saying he's ready. But Sergio Mora told us once, if they're saying they're ready, they're ready. But he still has some growing to do. He still has some maturity to do in the ring.
And we got to see him in a fight.
I want to see him in a 10-round fight. Let's at least see a 10-round fight.
Yeah, we got to see him in a fight with somebody actually fighting him back, right? To where we got to see him to see if the box, like we know everything there, but we got to see that. It's a show and tell business. And we just got to see that. Like I said, we couldn't critique nothing.
No.
First round knockout.
Nothing to say.
It ain't nothing. So I want to see him in there with a
Keyshawn, a Colbert.
Not even that, but not yet. Like you said, let it marinate. But someone who's a little bit tougher. And the last opponent was tougher.
Oh, he went 12 rounds. 12 rounds with Cruz, with Pitbull Cruz.
I think that, damn.
Dog, he went 12 rounds with Pitbull Cruz. Kid Austin got rid of him in 90 seconds, dude. And it wasn't even close.
Jesus.
So we'll see, man. He's got all the goods.
we hired on this kid Austin. We're gonna be visiting his camp a lot. They showed us great hospitality down there in Indio, California at the Palm Springs Resort. Shout out to all the staff at Palm Springs Resort. They treated us very well. They're very courteous. It was just a ball down there. You know, first time to California. And when I tell you my first time to California, we got stories to tell, but we're going to wait till the next episode to tell y'all a crazy-ass story.
Yeah, a little uncomfortable. A little bit uncomfortable.
A little uncomfortable, y'all. But it's funny, though. So we got to say, but I want everybody to know in L.A., I'm going to tell y'all this story next week, but I ain't never moved to California. I'm sorry. I'll come visit. I ain't never moved to California.
All right, bro. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up, dog. Again, if you guys can go follow us on YouTube, we're trying to grow that platform, but we're on Apple. We're on all your podcast outlets, but please go show our Twitter some love, our Instagram, Spit Bucket Official. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're on all that, but our real communication for all our big announcements, it's going to be Twitter, obviously Facebook, and then YouTube's going to have a lot of our video announcements, or a lot of our events being announced there. So go give us a follow. Anything else, Corey?
No, man, I just appreciate everybody. I want y'all to go on our website, the spitbucketpodcast.com, because we also got this foundation, TSB Warriors, that we're giving back to all the fallen fighters, whether they didn't make it in that ring or whether they had life career injuries. In the square circle, because this is the sport that we love so much, and we feel like it's our due diligence. We don't just want to get in the sport and just try to profit off the sport. We want to get in the sport and make sure it's our due diligence to give back. Like my guy JJ Solomon was talking about the toy bucket. We're not in this just for us. We in this to give back. We want to build a different community, and over the next coming months, everybody gonna see how we coming.
We're gonna have some fun doing it. Real quick before we go, Daryl Benson said Cali got that good weed and weather.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
Yep.
Oh, that's a fact.
See, senor, I was on that blackjack table. I forgot how to add, bro. Like Corey had to tag me in.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, boy. Cali had me up and away.
Woo! Yeah, thank you, Cali, for that. But anyways, much love, guys. We appreciate you. Spit Bucket Podcast, episode 16. Y'all check us out. We'll talk to y'all soon.
This Corey Bradshaw, Mr. RTBA, Mr. Lee Boys can't touch me on my worst day.
And this is JJ Solomon.
And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast. And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast.